Good evening, and welcome to our Solomon Leadership Graduation Ceremony. I would like to give a special welcome to Rabbi and Mrs. Lipsker, founders of the Shul of Bal Harbour, and to Rabbi Zalman Lipsker, the director, and Rabbi Shaiki Farkash, the administrator of this incredible program. Welcome to our commencement speaker, Alberto Kamahazi. I'd also like to warmly welcome the incredible, dedicated mentors of Solomon. Without you, none of this would be possible. And finally, welcome to the fellows and to our families who have supported us throughout this past year. My name is Zalman Shaglov, and I am a sophomore at Hebrew Academy. My time here at Solomon has been incredibly impactful. My first day of Solomon Leadership Program, I had no idea what to expect. I wondered who I would meet, which mentor to choose, how long the classes were, but most importantly, I wondered if I would genuinely be able to learn something from the program. Now that it's graduation, I'm so excited to say that it was worth it. The lessons we learn in Solomon are real-life lessons. The advice that we've been taught are some that will stick with me for the rest of my life. Having Solomon in my life has benefited me tremendously. The 8 pillars of leadership have provided me with the framework for being and understanding being an essential and effective leader. Specifically, the help and support from my mentor, Mr. Jacob Bengio, had a tremendous impact on me. The mentorship and guidance that I've received from him has been instrumental in my growth and development. He has been a constant source of support, encouragement, and inspiration, and has provided me with valuable feedback and advice on how to improve my leadership skills. Mr. Jacob Bengio has made my Solomon leadership incredibly enjoyable and insightful. Thank you very much for mentoring me and guiding me throughout this course. Tonight we will hear remarks from Rabbi Zalman Lipsker, several of our fellows, and our guest speaker, Mr. Kamahazi. I hope tonight's ceremony will afford you an appreciation of our experience as fellows this year at the Solomon Leadership Program and all the ways we have grown, gained, and prepared for our role as tomorrow's leaders. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Jake Wagoda, and I'm a proud fellow of the Solomon Leadership Program. Tonight marks the 3rd annual graduation of the Solomon Leadership Program at Bal Harbour chapter. In 2016, Solomon began as the vision of Mr. Larry Susnow and Rabbi Moshe Shiner. Together, they formed the idea of influencing tomorrow's leaders by creating a leadership program that combined ethical leadership education with formal mentoring. Tonight, because of their vision, I am proud to be one of tomorrow's leaders. My experience with the Solomon Leadership Program has been nothing short of transformational. This program not only prepares you for your future endeavors, but prepares you to become the best leader possible. The Solomon Leadership Program has left a lasting impression on me and has equipped me with the skill set. In this short time, I and all the graduating fellows were given the opportunity to learn and grow in valuable ways. Tonight, we stand in gratitude to Mr. Susnow, Rabbi Shiner, Rabbi Zalman Lipsker, Rabbi Shaiki Farkash, and the Shul of Bal Harbour for their vision and leadership in giving us the gift of the Solomon Leadership Program. It is now because of you that we stand here tonight, better leaders than we started. Thank you.
Good evening. You can't imagine the joy, inspiration, nachas, and great feelings that I have standing up here. Having done, I would say, not very much for the success of this program, when I come in and see the groups sitting together with their mentors, engaged, involved, interactive, questioning, learning, it's exactly what we thought would be the ultimate of how to develop leadership. Our environment, as you know, is founded on the philosophy and thought process of the leader of our generation, the Lubavitcher Rebbe. one of the most distinguished leaders in the last 1,000 years since Maimonides. Probably not a great leader as the Rebbe. And he gave special emphasis on developing youth and leadership. In fact, it was during the 60s when I was a teenager, and there was the great revolution of the 60s. If most of you do not remember, you probably were not yet born. Some of your parents may have been born, but also probably in elementary school at that time. But it was a revolution of the youth. And people just rebelled against society, rebelled against what was going on. They wanted something more authentic. They took off their fancy clothes and they put on torn jeans. They tore up their credit cards and went to India. They started looking for some way to connect themselves spiritually, because the world at that time was moving in a very materialistic direction. And the Rebbe said at that time that we are in the midst of the greatest revolution in history, but a revolution without leadership. A revolution of people that's seeking to find truth and nobody out there to give them the truth. You're old enough to know when I met with the most successful Eastern Swami, his name was Muktananda, who attracted tens of thousands of Jews. And I approached him in a meeting that I had with him, and I said to him, why are you here in America taking away our Jewish people? There are so many people in India that are seeking to find meaning. Why don't you go back to India and find them? So he answered me so intelligently. He said, Rabbi, I am not coming into your synagogues and taking your children away. They left your synagogues a long time ago, and they have nobody to follow. So I'm just here to take them off the streets. Leadership today is critical. In today's Torah portion, we read about the most exalted leaders of the Jewish people, the Kohanim, the ones who served in the Holy Temple, uniquely served in a very special way. And the first statement to the leadership, it says, God said to Aaron, speak and say, and Rashi, who teaches the Torah to the 5-year-old child, why is there redundancy? And he says, quoting from the Talmud, Lahazhir gedolim al haktanim. The first lesson of the Kohen is not to serve in the temple. The first lesson of the Kohen is to educate the next generation. It's you, this generation, with this societal power that you have, with the revolution that's going on today that has no direction, no borders, no limits, no disciplines, that a group like you, who are part of that society and are the leadership of that society, must take your rightful place, as our prophet Isaiah said, to fulfill your mission, to be a light unto the nations. A light unto the nations means that anybody that looks at you says, this person lights up my life. This person lights up my environment. This person is safe. Darkness is attributed to a place that is unknown. You don't know what lurks in darkness. Light represents goodness, openness, sharing, clarity. And so, dear leaders of our next generation, and I might say leaders of this generation because it seems to be, from what I'm getting to understand, that it's you guys that really lead the elders in this generation. It's not the other way around. You're making the decisions and moving in the right direction, and your friends are following you. Make sure that happens. The Talmud tells us in the time of Mashiach, it says the face of the generation, the leadership of the generation will be like the face of a dog. Now, that's a pretty heavy statement. Leadership like the face of a dog in the time of Mashiach. It also says in the time of Mashiach, wine will be expensive. A lot of people will be drinking a lot of wine like today. Daughters-in-law will not respect mothers-in-law like a lot of that which happens today. The young will not respect the elders like happens today. And leadership will be like the face of a dog. Why face of a dog? A dog is a very interesting animal. You know, they say dog's man's best friend. It's not that he's man's best friend. It's just that he connects with his dependent. Because man takes care of him. And that's the nature of the dog. But the dog, if you watch him, he's always running in front of his master. Always running in front. But every little while, you can't notice it, but you watch the dog, you'll see, he turns around. And if the master turned the corner, he's not there, the dog goes running back. Because he only looks like he's leading the master, but he's only following. That's why leadership has to really not follow. Today, leadership follows. You take a look what's on social media, what everybody's saying, I'm going to be that too. That's just following. Leading is being on the front line, not looking back, never taking your eye off the ball, never taking your eye off the mission, and realizing that you are the most special people in the world. You are Almighty God's agents. You're his emissaries to make this world a better place. One more thought. As you go through life, you think you have a lot of choices. You have only one choice in life. You have no choices. You don't have a choice what you're going to do, how much money you're going to make, how many children you will have, who you're going to marry. You have zero choice about that. All of that has been already determined by Hashem and continues to be determined every single day. But the one choice where God relinquishes his power to oversee, one choice, is to do right or wrong. That's it. And right or wrong, how do I know what's right and wrong? There's 50, 150 people here. There's probably 100 different opinions. So that God gives us a manual. What the Torah says is right, and what the Torah says wrong is wrong. You follow that, and Almighty God will make sure that every choice you make, that you think you make, he will put in the right direction, that you will be the most successful leaders of our generation. God bless you.
Rabbi, you can stay. Just one word. Congratulations. First of all, I'd like to thank all the speakers that came through Solomon in giving our students, our fellows, such a enlightening experience, sharing personal stories of their life, sharing with them valuable lessons that they've learned along their journeys in business and in their own life stories. Talk about the mentors a little later, but obviously thank you to all the mentors of giving of their time. We'll get to that. And the students, as you heard from the rabbi, you're charged with a mission, with a goal, with a path. Our job here at Solomon and at the shul in general is to really give you the tools necessary to be able to help you navigate the rights and wrongs, the good and bad. As we just learned in the parsha last week about being holy, being different, being able to stand up to what you believe is right and not to be swayed by the world around you. Being holy means to maximize our unique potential. And I know today, in our world, being high school students, 11th and 12th graders, some 10th graders, it's difficult. There's a lot of distractions, a lot going on, a lot of extracurricular programming, and just life in general. So to take your time and come here on a voluntary basis, which you earned, you worked hard. Some of you started off a little slower, I must say, but towards the end of the program, I think everyone really got together and put forth their best foot forward. And we're so proud of taking your time and really developing, hopefully yourselves, in these lifelong lessons that you learned. And we never really graduate. We never really finish. We're taking this as a stepping stone to, God willing, the next phase of your life, which some of you will be off to Israel, college, 12th grade, 11th grade, summer programs. We hope we were able to instill within you some of the values that you can use for the rest of your life. So you guys should give yourself a round of applause for all the hard work that you put in. To our fellows, I'd like to ask my mother, Mrs. Lipskirt, to please come up to help give out the beautiful diplomas, trophies for the young students, and Rabbi Shaiki Farkash. And Rabbi Shaiki Farkash to please come up to help give out the diplomas. Our youth director, who obviously without him this could never have happened,
from beginning to end, coordinating, making sure everything runs well, getting the kids motivated, and making sure that he's keeping on top of them. So thank you. Thank you, Rabbi Shaiki. It's okay. You just, as we call your name, please come up. We're going to do this in alphabetical order. At the end of, after you get your award, please go down, and afterwards we'll take a picture, and then we'll take a 2-minute break for that, just to make sure we get it, because I know sometimes right after the program, you guys will run off, and there's still quite a bit to do. Mary Albaranes. While she's getting dressed, we'll call the next person, Leora Boswich. Miriam Cohen. It's a good picture. Got a picture? Nathan Cohen. Hey, come in the picture. John Delgado.
Great honor to get this picture.
Yeah, I know.
Yisrael Duchman, who's not here yet, he's coming back from a school trip which he could not miss, but he'll come up hopefully when he's here. Goldie Duchman. Jonathan Gad. Becky, where you going? Get it around the head. There you go. Shayna Goldfarb. Jacob Hakmon. He's a tall one. He's got a tall. Yeah. Talia Hussein. The conversations here are great, by the way. Erez Jatwez. This one's empty. Oh, here. Say it's empty, but you're speaking soon, so it doesn't matter. Goes away. Dana Cohn.
Okay, that's enough.
Maxwell Lehman. Joseph Levy. Good job. Leah Shandel Lieberman. Lisa Lugo. Ayela Odds. Ariel Roller. Abigail Rubinov. Zalman Shagalov. Certificate of completion. Sophie Smith Elrich. Not here yet? She'll be here in a few little. Her dad's going to accept it on her behalf for now. Reliving the experience.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay. Riley Spitz. Also not here? Where are they? No, I'm not asking. Benjamin Stragowitz. Shoshana Wagoda. She's smiling and talking. So. Jacob Wagoda.
27 people received their diplomas. One person said the program was okay. One person said the program was very good. One person said the program was excellent. And 24 people said the program was awesome.
Benji.
Good evening. My name is Benji Shragowitz. I'm a sophomore at Harbour Academy of Miami Beach. The Solomon Leadership Program has partnered with Palm Beach Atlantic University so that all fellows can receive 3 college credits upon completing the program. This aspect of the program has meant so much to me because Solomon really influenced and impacted my life. I learned that there's a lot more to being an effective leader than just being in charge. Being a leader is all about the way you speak, listen, and act. To be honest, at first I only signed up for Solomon for the college credits. I never had any intentions to grow from it, but little did I know how life-changing it would be. Before Solomon started, I wasn't the most ideal student, nor did I have the best classroom decorum. But when I began Solomon and learned about each pillar, I started to apply everything I learned to my everyday life, and shortly after I did so, I started seeing self-improvement. First from my parents, then my teachers, and finally my friends all started to notice a change in my behavior. Because I changed, I gained a lot of respect from them, and they gained a lot of respect from me. They didn't view me as a kid, but rather as an adult. They took me more seriously and also had more serious conversations with me. Solomon allowed me to dive deep down in my brain and really find some of myself. The first assignment we had was to find value traits that describe ourselves. I carefully read and thought about each trait, and I learned qualities about myself that I didn't realize I had. I gained so much self-respect from this, and I was able to look at myself from a different perspective. I've come to realize that every person is a leader, but it's your choice to be an effective one. Tonight I'm honored to present to you the recorded remarks of Dr. Art Johnson, who is a professor of leadership and organizational development at the Catherine T. MacArthur School of Leadership at Palm Beach Atlantic University. Dr. Johnson oversees and advises on the Solomon Program curriculum. He has worked in many higher education settings in his career, has taught for 8 universities, and is the owner of a successful consulting business. He is also known to make a great cheesecake. Without further ado, Dr. Art Johnson.
I want to thank Palm Beach Atlantic University for making this possible. I specifically want to thank Dr. Jonathan Grentz, and I want to thank Kathy Meisner for all the work they do behind the scenes to make this happen. When I think about leadership, there are really 3 buckets. And the 3 buckets are learning to lead yourself, which is the most important, learning to lead others, and learning to lead organizations. Now, Solomon, its curriculum, focuses on 2 of the buckets, focuses on learning to lead yourself and learning to lead others. And you have to understand that down the road, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, you're going to have your stories. You're going to have built your stories as a leader of others, a leader that works with others, a leader that works with teams, a leader who is a mentor. You may end up becoming a mentor in the Solomon Leadership Program, or mentor others in another way, coach others in another way. The bottom line is leadership has ripple effects. And make no mistake, the world needs good leaders, and has, and it always will. Finally, I want to give you something that will help you get better consistently, and that's this. if you take a little bit of time at the end of the day to reflect on your leadership, say, hey, how did I do? What went well? What didn't go well today? And try to be better tomorrow. Every day you do that, you start to become a better and better leader. And make no mistake, over time, you will become the leader you wish to become in whatever field you're in. You'll make a difference not just for yourself, but you'll make a difference for others. You'll make a difference for organizations. You'll make a difference in your field. With that said, God bless, take care, and I wish I was there to see that journey and what you've ended up accomplishing in 30 or 40 years. Congratulations, well done.
This year, I decided to take the hardest classes and hone my discipline. I've never really needed to ask people for help as I've always been able to figure everything out on my own. However, what I learned was that having a mentor kind of feels like cheating because it allows you to have access to knowledge based on experiences that you've never had. Additionally, I learned that even my mentor, who's a very successful person, has a group of people he meets with monthly who act as each other's mentors. These new insights have opened my eyes to the importance of having a mentor and reaching out to those who are more knowledgeable than myself. Before starting this program, I was always trying to find the easy way out and avoiding hard work. However, this would be the busiest year of my life and I would no longer be able to get away with that. My mindset completely changed during the first meeting discussing character, in which the speaker said, "Hard work is the only foolproof road to success." I've heard similar things before, but this resonated with me because he then went on to show that all other paths to success were merely a gamble. After this, I started to embrace the idea of working hard, and I accepted it as my reality if I wanted to succeed. Additionally, the pillar of persistence gave me further insight into the intricacies of my new personal philosophy. The Solomon Leadership Program allowed me to finally see the value of hard work and become more disciplined. Although I became a hard worker and more disciplined than ever, I soon realized that something was missing. That missing piece was strategy. I thought that if I just worked hard enough, I could accomplish whatever I wanted to. I was not able to understand what was missing until we reviewed the pillar of strategy. One of the things brought up by this pillar was the story of David and Goliath. When telling the story, it highlighted how the strongest people could not defeat Goliath, but David could when he used strategy. This felt like an analogy to life. Sometimes you are faced with a difficult situation, you're Goliath, and no matter how hard you try to overcome it with conventional means, you fail. Only after strategy can you defeat your Goliath. This lesson can be dangerous, as it seems to eliminate the need for hard work and substitute it with creative thinking. And it was how I used to view life. However, I learned that it is a mix of hard work and strategizing that makes someone able to overcome any obstacle. While one can get the same inspiration and ideas from anywhere, I believe the way the Solomon program was set up helped me grow and truly absorb these ideas. Firstly, you quickly learn the importance of a mentor, which then allows you to be more open to the ideas and lessons that you can gain from them and the speakers. Then, only because I became more open-minded was I finally able to learn the importance of hard work, despite the fact that I was told my entire life. Finally, the lesson of strategy can only be truly understood when you see it as something that works with hard work and not an alternative to it. I've grown as a person thanks to the Solomon Leadership Program, and I hope to continue my personal growth based on these principles. Thank you.
Just before we get the introduction to the mentors, I wanted to thank them personally for taking up their time week in and week out, not only to show up to the program and to help mentor the students, but I think also being there for them even outside of the classroom, even outside of the sessions. And I know that the students will continue to look for guidance from you. And I hope that you will be there for them as they continue the next journey of their life. I know my daughter, when she was in this program, had Errol Feldman as a mentor. And before she applied to school and college, she definitely consulted with him, and it was very instrumental to her. So I just want you to know is take advantage of these unbelievable mentors that could be with you, that can resonate and help you along your path. Take advantage. They love doing what they do, and I really want to thank them all for continuing, some of them continuing for the third year, to being these amazing mentors to our students. And for those that it's their first year, I hope you come back, God willing, for many years to come. Just before we give out the awards, we'll see in a moment, just to let you know, the awards, some of them have the glass and some of them don't. The ones that have the glass are new mentors. The ones that don't, we have the glass, they have them at home, and every year we'll add a clip So we're adding either a second or a third clip, depending on how many years they've been with us. So just so you know, the ones that are repeat are not just getting less, they're just getting an additional clip. So thank you. Oh, where's next?
Dear esteemed rabbis, mentors, fellows, and guests, I had the privilege of being mentored through the 8 Pillars of Leadership in the Solomon Program by Mr. Daniel Belikin, and I must say, it was a truly transformative experience. One of the many lessons that Mr. Belikin instilled in me is the importance of self-improvement and personal growth. He helped me realize my potential and encouraged me to strive towards making a positive impact in the world. Mr. Belikin taught me the value of looking at the full picture and how taking a step back can provide us with a fresh perspective on things. He reinforced the importance of being able to assess situations and approach problems from a place of reason and judgment. We learned that a spring always bounces back, which means that even when we face setbacks, we can always recover and come back stronger. His guidance was a constant reminder that no matter how difficult the situation may seem, we can always bounce back and come back stronger. Next week, Bezrat Hashem, as we celebrate Lag BaOmer, we will be reminded of the great Rabbi Akiva, who started his studies at a later age and went on to become one of the greatest scholars of his time. One day, he saw water dripping on a rock and noticed how, over time, the constant drip had created a hole in the rock. This observation led him to realize the power of persistence and the importance of learning. Mr. Belikin told us we should pursue our dreams and goals and we should never give up on ourselves. I am grateful for Mr. Belikin's mentorship and the opportunity to have learned the many lessons from him. I'm also grateful to the rabbis and the Solomon Program for allowing me to be part of it. May we all please God go from strength to strength.
Daniel Bellison, please come up. I'd like to ask our president of the shul, Mr. David Wolf, to come up and hand awards and awards of appreciation to our mentors. Mentors, after you get your award, if you can please stay on the bottom of the stage so we can take a picture. Let's go ahead. Just be careful with it. We'll probably put it back in after because it comes off. Okay, good. That's it. Take a picture. Present. Oh yeah, I want to put pictures.
Microphone's in your way.
I don't even have a picture. It's going to be too long. Thank you. Put it down on the paper for now.
Good evening. My name is Nathan Cohen. It is an honor for me to stand before you today and speak about the exceptional mentorship that I received during the Solomon Leadership Program. I had the pleasure of being under the guidance of the distinguished man, Mr. Jacob Bengio. Mr. Bengio's mentorship had a profound impact on me. Throughout the program, we delved into the 8 pillars of leadership, and in particular, we explored the concept of grit within the persistent pillar. Mr. Bengio emphasized the importance of persevering through adversity and maintaining a growth mindset even in the face of challenges. He taught us that it is through our struggles that we learn and grow the most. I am grateful for the opportunity to have been mentored by Mr. Bengio. His wisdom and guidance have enabled me to become a more introspective and reflective leader. He emphasized the importance of cultivating a community of like-minded individuals who share our goals and value. Today, I stand before you with immense gratitude for the invaluable mentorship that Mr. Bengio provided during my time at the Solomon Leadership Program. It is rare to come across such an exceptional leader and a mentor, and I will always cherish the lessons he imparted to me. Thank you. Please come to the stage to accept this token of our appreciation.
picture. A little clip. Baby clip. Yeah, just take a picture after up here.
Good evening. My mentor, Errol, has taught me various different lessons regarding business and the real world through his own experiences of running a software company, being a lawyer, and owning real estate. Every time our group met, I enjoyed how we would apply the topic to our current position, encouraging us to begin taking action on whatever opportunity presented itself. He would always motivate us to try and start working on an idea, and if it failed, we would discuss how to make it work. I also liked how he taught us in a way where we would be able to joke around, have fun, while still learning valuable life lessons. Specifically, I had an idea to work with real estate brokers by creating 3D models of homes they wanted to sell so they could show their customers. Errol encouraged me to find out how much cameras cost, talk to brokers to see if they needed what I would offer, and determine whether or not it was worth doing. I ended up doing most of those things and finding out that it wasn't worth the amount of time it would take to the profit. However, without the encouragement and motivation from Errol, I would have never done any of those. And because of that experience, I learned to always try to pursue an idea when it comes, because you never know what might work. Thank you, Errol, for all your encouragement and guidance this year. Please come to the stage to accept this small token of our appreciation.
That was the better one. How do you? I'll take a quick picture. Yeah, well, it's not that small, you know. It's not that so bad.
Good evening. I'm honored to speak about my mentor, Dina Cranes. I would like to say that it was a hard decision to choose her as my mentor, although truthfully it really wasn't. Her laid-back and fun personality allowed for our weekly meetings to be something that I could really look forward to and enjoy. Her great style of talking and the way she educates but also sits back and lets us students contribute was always something that I admired. You always encouraged me by pushing me to really analyze my life and by devising exercises that really allowed me to think outside the box and challenge myself. Thank you so much for everything and for the time you spent mentoring us. Please come to the stage to accept this small token of our appreciation.
Put them in the box. All right.
I was privileged to be a mentee under Miss Ayana Rame throughout the Solomon Leadership Program. Unfortunately, she could not be here this evening, but I'm happy to take this opportunity to talk about her anyway. Ayana had a unique insight on every topic and looked to expound on everyone's perspective through her genuine interest in our learning process and how she could help us venture deeper into the 8 pillars. It was her act of persistence to help us pave our paths. Her role became evident as she helped pick up our little interests through what seemed like meaningless banter. She helped our forgotten seeds blossom into beautiful gardens. After every speech, Iona had a way of running the session so that everyone was able to speak. I look back to see where she got her determination from. Once, while discussing opportunities to flourish during the persistence pillar, a fellow mentee described some personal characteristics that they did not necessarily love about themselves. Without a pause, Iona said, I don't want to hear what you're bad at. I want to hear what you're good at. It was one of those moments where I was thankful I carried a pen and paper around. I felt a sense of gratitude for the optimism launched my way. Why should we focus on the negative aspects on this world when we have the ability to define our character, especially through thought? Personally, her words follow me around when I stumble on my own path. Appreciation does not begin to describe my feelings for what we shared these past few months. No other individual could have cared or have had the impact that Iona did. Thank you.
At my first meeting for the Solomon Leadership course, it was without a doubt the easiest decision to choose Dr. Sarah Rosenell as my mentor. I took notice that she is someone who has accomplished everything I aspire to be in my life: a successful doctor, a wife and a mother, and someone who still makes time in her very full and busy schedule to help others. Dr. Rosenell has been an amazing mentor to me as I navigate my way laying the foundation of becoming a doctor. She has dedicated her time to helping my peers and me become the best versions of ourselves. An important part of becoming successful is believing you are capable, and Dr. Rosenell has helped all of us grow in strength and self-assurance, teaching us leadership qualities and how to build a commitment to achieving our goals. She has given us constant support and direction and shown us how to conquer our fears and self-doubt. Everyone makes mistakes, but Dr. Rosenell has taught us to embrace our mistakes and use them as lessons to become better. My mentor has pushed me to take chances and leave my comfort zone during our conversations, which has helped me feel more confident and self-aware. I've grown more assertive and proactive in pursuing my goals thanks to this new confidence. Through Dr. Rosenell, I was able to find an internship in anesthesiology, and I'm so excited for the opportunity to have a hands-on approach to learning about the field of medicine I want to pursue. Dr. Rosenell, thank you so much for helping all of us realize how to make our dreams a reality. Please come up to the stage to accept this small token of our appreciation.
Personalized picture. Thank you. Thank you. Right here. Thank you.
That's why. Surprise.
In my first ever meeting at Solomon, my mentor, Mr. Jeffrey Wolf, posed a simple question to me and my group. Why did we choose to come to the Solomon Leadership Program? Mr. Wolf, it's hard to describe with words what you meant to me over the past 6 months. And although I was sadly not able to make it tonight to celebrate with my fellow graduates, I would like to take this moment to thank you for all you've done on behalf of myself, our group, and the entire Solomon program. Thank you.
So nice. It's a nice moment. Love it. Mentors, please come up for one moment so we can take a quick picture, and then we will continue. Come up. Come to the stage. Good. Okay, so stand over here. Go this way. Split up. Come up. Come up. Go 3 on 3, I think, because Ilana's not here.
Right, so it's only 2 ladies. Should we go?
The ladies can go.
All right.
All right.
Wait.
Okay. come up real close, all right?
Yeah, we
Come up, no?
We were blocked.
What about you? I'll go right next to you.
All right.
Honor. Everyone knock him over. You're good, Aaron. Yes, you're strong. You got this, buddy. I'm gonna come back for 7 more years. You want to have that 8? Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's give a round of applause to our mentors. Thank you.
Good evening. For my visual presentation, I created the Tree of Life, incorporating each one of the Solomon pillars. We all know that trees need certain things to thrive, such as sunlight, soil, and specific nutrients. Much like a tree, we as humans need things to survive. We need kindness. Once kindness is spread, then and only then will humanity truly grow, lead, and inspire change. Kindness is the root that keeps us grounded and sprouts the ability to make positive changes to our communities. I always grew up with the concept that chesed was everything, and that a small act of goodness can really change the world. When I was 14 years old, I decided to volunteer for Chai Lifeline. I remember it clearly. The mom was very sick with cancer, and she loved her children but couldn't properly take care of them or give them the attention that they needed. So I came into the home and I tried to help. I bathed the kids, I played games with them, I cleaned the house, and I helped them with their homework. After visiting them for almost a year, the mom came over to me with tears in her eyes, and she said, "Thank you so much. You have no idea how much of an impact you are making on my family." When I went home, you know what I did? I cried. I cried for the family. I cried for the privilege of having a healthy mother. And I cried because I realized how beautiful kindness is. But this isn't just about me giving kindness. I've been on the receiving end of kindness as well. For all of us, COVID-19 was an especially difficult time. I had my schedule disrupted, I couldn't see my friends, couldn't go to school, and I became very anxious. However, through all the hard times, I was amazed to see what a small act of kindness could do to lift my spirits. My friends reached out to me, and just reaching out made such a difference. I saw how being helped was equally impactful. The very first pillar of the Solomon's Leader program is character, a person's values and identity. For me, kindness is a core value, and it's part of my identity. One of the things that have stuck with me is a quote by Rabbi Yisrael Salanter, who said, "You want to change the world? First change yourself. First be kind." My mentor, Dr. Rosenell, taught me the valuable lesson that it's okay not to be perfect, that working on yourself takes time. And she was kind enough to volunteer her valuable time for me to learn and grow. That's what I undoubtedly took away from this program, that kindness and who you are, character, is at the foundation of everything. So as we leave this program, where we learn about the importance of changing ourselves for the better, I want you to remember both how beautiful it is to give kindness and how important it is to receive kindness. My family had a personal connection with the Lubavitcher Rebbe, who spoke often about increasing acts of goodness and kindness. Why did the Rebbe appeal to this? Because the Rebbe knew that this is what would bring Mashiach. That's how important this is. So as you leave here today, think about one more act of goodness and kindness you can do. It's time for us all to blossom.
Hi, good evening. My name is Ayala Odds, and I'm going to be speaking to you about some impactful messages we learned from our guest speakers. Sorry. At each session, an esteemed guest speaker opened the program. They each spoke specifically about their experience with one of the 8 pillars of leadership and their most important messages related to all the skills that we have learnt. Tonight, I'm excited to share with you a few highlights of the most important things we heard from the guest speakers at Solomon. The candid words of wisdom gave us lessons for life. Over the course of the program, we were privileged to hear from Mr. David Brescia, CEO of FM Home Loans and philanthropist for the character pillar. Mr. Simon Fallick, Chairman and CEO of Duty Free Americas for the tolerance pillar. Chief of Police of Bal Harbour, Raleigh M. Flowers for the communication pillar. Brigadier General in the IDF, Amir Avivi for vision. Mr. R.B. Goldstein, business developer and 13 years sober for the empowerment pillar. Mrs. Sophie Matz, licensed mental health counselor and previous Solomon mentor for persistence. Mr. Mitchell Feldman, real estate investor for the strategy pillar. And finally, Mrs. Joy Fishman, philanthropist and activist for Drug Free America for the judgment pillar. We had so many incredible and practical messages about what leadership means, how to be a leader, and how each pillar played an important role in each speaker's life and trajectory. The first message I heard that I felt was very important was when General Amir Avivi spoke to us on the vision pillar and said, "A serious vision is a vision that exists long after you're gone." This idea was important to me because it reminds us of the importance of thinking beyond ourselves and our immediate goals. We create something that is truly long-lasting and significant when we work towards a goal that is bigger than just our own lives. It is easy to become distracted or fed up and lose sight of the greater picture, but by developing a serious vision and dedicating ourselves to it, we may leave a lasting legacy that will live on long after us and continue to uplift and benefit others. We need to follow our passions and work to improve and change the world. Another message that I found very inspiring was when Chief Raleigh M. Flowers, who spoke at the communication pillar, said, "What we do while we speak often says more than words." I really think this emphasizes the significance of our actions and body language whilst communicating with others. The way we say things also conveys meaning and intent, not just the words themselves. Our facial expressions, tone of voice, and gestures all influence the message we're giving, and this quote can serve as a reminder to take care of how we present ourselves in both our professional and personal lives. We can promote trust and respect by being genuine and authentic with a non-verbal communication, which is incredibly important. I wish I had time to talk about all the amazing ideas we heard from all the speakers. We are so grateful to each one for all the wisdom they shared with us. Thank you.
Good evening. Hearing from such accomplished leaders at each session was truly a privilege. As our tolerant speaker, my Zaidi, Simon Fallick said, "Don't apologize for being Jewish." Today I dedicate myself to my community and my people, and I stand here today as a proud Jew and a leader. Mr. Alberto Kamhazi has a diversified business history spanning nearly 30 years throughout multiple corporate arenas. Starting his career in his family's Venezuela-based business, Group KPT, which specialized in watch production and multiple consumer products, Group KPT eventually transitioned to a Hong Kong-based company, Supply 26 Ltd. Alberto has worked throughout South America, the United States, and Asia with major corporations such as PepsiCo, Frito-Lay's, and door-to-door sales companies to grow and maintain his family's dynamic operation. This evening, it is my pleasure to introduce you to Mr. Alberto Kamhazi, who will share parting thoughts with us about what it means to be a Solomon leader.
Just in case, Salman told me like I can speak 1 hour, right?
45 minutes.
All right, very good. Thank you. Really, really impressive. Whatever we can see in here, it's amazing. Amazing what we can see in here. So, good evening, Rabbi teachers, mentors, community, shul members, and of course the students, the fellows from Salomon Leadership Program, looking and empower their knowledge and skills to integrate the best way to the actual world. The 8 pillars that we were talking and listening now, the character, communication, empowerment, strategy, tolerance, vision, perseverance, and judgment, which I can say we integrate that every day of our life. Practically, I apply it personally all the time. I can give an example like for tolerance, when I was, I don't know, just without paper so we can talk. So my dad, which I can say was my mentor, it was one of the person that was telling me, just come to the office, sit next to me, and just listen to me, don't talk, just see what I do, and if only talk if you have a question, no without a question. So during that time, I was like his little shadow, just listening, seeing what he was doing all the time, and practically being his shadow. And then I understood that indirectly he did to me a transfer of the knowledge that he was having on that time in a very easy way for me to understand. When I can tell you that he started like selling newspaper in Israel, bringing bread to the people so he can get tips to start. He always got a vision in his life to go and to bring his family to a better place. So he came to Venezuela, and then he started his own war with the watches, as they were saying. Even his vision went so far that he applied it to do even a factory in Venezuela, which was crazy to do it. Because Venezuela was like, no way you can have a factory of watches in that country. He did it, was successful, thank God. Then our family joined him to do new business. And with that business going in Venezuela, with his vision, with his dream, and with his perseverance, gave us to me, my brother, my family, the opportunity to start opening business outside the country and continue. One small detail that I want to tell you in order for you in the future to understand that every little space, every little thing in your life that is around you, you need to take care to understand, to persevere, to understand and to perceive the benefits that you can get. For my personal life, my biggest deal was thanks to a taxi driver that was in Mexico, in the airport, and when my father sent me there just to do, like, clear out my mind, go there for 2 months and come back, I remember that I met him once, and I told him, hi, can I meet this guy? I mean, again, the taxi driver is here. So he said, yes, he's still alive, he's here. I took him with me. That guy gave me the enthusiasm to try to do something in Mexico. And with this small detail, what I want to say is that every little thing that goes around your life, it can lead you to start a big future for all of you. I believe that many people in here, that they have their mentors, they feel whatever they pass through in order to reach where they are now. I have the benefit to get, in that time, it was a Latin way, my dad taking care of me and giving the empowerment by himself. And I understand now that every small thing with the persistence, the knowledge, the strategy, the tolerance, the vision, the persistence, judgment, and character, they will lead you to get a very strong position inside the world. Always remember, if you're going to do something, do it from the smallest, start to understand it from the smallest thing to the biggest, to the most complex thing, so that way you're going to have always the confidence to talk about whatever you're going to talk with 100% of confidence. whatever I heard now, I'm speechless because really it's amazing what these young people, the fellows of Solomon, are doing, the mentors, whatever they're achieving with their fellows. It's amazing. It's the first time I'm seeing this in here, and I'm honored to be here. And I can wish you only atzlacha, and whatever you have in your way in your life should happen. Amen.
I wanted to start off this speech by asking you all a question that I've asked myself many times throughout this whole experience. What does it really mean to be a leader? Is it having the ability to make urgent decisions? Is it having the ability to inspire others? Or more importantly, does it encompass having good social and communication skills? Well, in the words of best-selling American author John Maxwell, a leader is one who knows the way, who goes the way, and who shows the way. This quote heavily embodies the definition of the Solomon Program. This program has taught me tremendous amounts of essential leadership skills that I now implement into my everyday life. As a matter of fact, these skills are so unique that they won't be picked up or taught in one's average school, which is a huge reason for why this program is so special and incredibly successful. The amazing guest speakers who come to speak at Solomon have really been one of the highlights of this program for me. Getting the opportunity to listen to these inspiring speakers week after week really allowed for me to gain insightful knowledge into what it really takes to be a leader. Another incredible part of this program for me, surprisingly, was doing the homework assignments. Like most normal students, I initially dreaded doing the homework. However, once I decided that I would be proactive and really start internalizing the assignments, I actually found that the passages were really engaging and could seriously be applied to my life. Simply getting the homework done, believe it or not, really impacted the way I managed my day and more importantly, the way I really viewed myself. This is because most of the exercises in the homework forced me to really stop and think about what my good qualities and characteristics are and who I truly am as a person. Altogether, this program has seriously benefited my life. I can confidently say that I will be graduating from this program and walking out of the shul today with a lot more knowledge and wisdom than when I first entered these doors months ago. Choosing to sign up for this program was probably one of the best decisions I could have gifted myself. If there's one thing I would like you all to take away or remember from my speech, it's this last quote. When it feels scary to jump, that's exactly when you should jump in. Step out of your comfort zone. I can proudly say that I am so glad to have been a part of this year's 2022-2023 Solomon Leadership Program. Thank you.